mommy and daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said, this is before Vincent. Before Vince. Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with mommy car insurance.
When you think about the Braxton family, the first word that comes to mind is talent. But behind the spotlight, behind the Grammy wins and the sold-out arenas, there's another word that has followed them for decades. Money, or more precisely, the lack of it, to the world. Toni Braxton was the definition of success, a glamorous icon with a powerhouse voice who gave us Unbreak My Heart and sold over 70 million records worldwide. But behind that success, she was carrying a financial burden that nearly destroyed her life. And watching it all unfold was her younger sister, Tamar Braxton. To this day, Tamar insists that people never truly understood how much Toni sacrificed, not just for her own career, but for the entire family. Because this wasn't just one woman struggling in the music industry. This was a family that leaned on Toni until she had nothing left to give. From paying bills to covering their mother's car insurance to making sure there was food on the table. Toni was expected to be the savior of the Braxton family. And the most heartbreaking part? When she filed for bankruptcy, not once, but twice, no one seemed shocked. Tamar has openly said that while people often label her as the outspoken one. She was also the only sibling who consistently stepped up when Toni was facing financial hardship. In her own words, she made it clear none of her siblings helped take care of their mother, except her.
The devil was breaking up our family, the devil was raging, so it was a bad thing. My sister Tracy is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always tried to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life. And I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody, but since we've been doing this show.
Toni was paying for everything. Car insurance, bills, the house. And when it became too much, I stepped in. Everyone else looked the other way. That wasn't just shade coming from Tamar Braxton. That was a truth she's carried for years. Think about it. Bills stacking up, responsibilities piling higher by the day. And Toni Braxton, a Grammy-winning global superstar, was struggling just to keep her family afloat. While she was holding everything together, her sisters, including Trina Braxton and Towanda Braxton, were still expecting to be paid for working with her. Meanwhile, Tamar says she did background vocals for free. That imbalance planted the seeds of resentment that would fracture the Braxton family for decades. But to understand Tamar's frustration, you have to go back to where it all began. In the 1990s, Toni Braxton was at the height of her career. Her debut album went diamond. Her follow-up, Secrets, produced one of the biggest songs in music history, Unbreak My Heart. She was everywhere, magazines, television, world tours. To fans, she seemed untouchable. Behind the scenes, it was a different story. Toni was generating over $170 million for LaFace Records, while barely seeing any of it herself. Imagine selling millions of records, headlining sold-out tours across the globe, dominating every magazine cover, and still not being able to buy your own mother a car without going into debt. How does that happen? Because the system was built that way. She was charged for everything: clothing, travel, studio time, music videos. Expenses that should have been investments were turned into debts. By the time everything was settled, Toni claimed she earned less than $2,000 in royalties. Less than $2,000. Tamar has said it repeatedly. People judge Toni's bankruptcies without ever understanding the full story. The truth is, the industry drained her, and instead of protecting her, her family leaned on her even more. At one point, Tracy Braxton admitted she told Toni, "When you make it, you can help us." And Toni took that to heart, becoming the family's unofficial bank. But no one can carry that weight forever. In 1998, Toni filed for bankruptcy. To the public, it was shocking. To Tamar, it wasn't. She knew the contract were unfair. She knew her sister was being exploited. And she knew Toni wasn't just supporting herself. She was supporting everyone. What the world saw as reality TV drama on Braxton family values was, in truth, decades of financial strain finally spilling into the open. And bankruptcy isn't just paperwork. It's humiliation, headlines, accusations. At one point, Toni was even accused of fraud over money transferred to her then-husband, Kerry Lewis. But Tamar insists Toni wasn't scheming. She was drowning. And while all of this was happening, Tamar says she never asked for money. She helped where she could, stood by her sister, and carried part of the burden, while others still expected checks. That's where Tamar's frustration comes from. To her, it was never just about money. It was about a family dynamic that allowed one person to carry everything while everyone else stood back. By the time Toni faced her second bankruptcy, things had only gotten worse. Health battles, including lupus and heart complications, canceled shows, IRS liens. The pressure never let up. And even at her lowest, the expectation remained. Keep going, keep providing. Through it all, Tamar says she was there, quietly trying to ease the load. So when she says she feels sorry for her sister, it's not pity. It's recognition. It's understanding the cost of survival. But just when it seemed like Toni couldn't face anything more, a new chapter raised even more questions. Her relationship with Birdman. After years together, the two reportedly married on August 8, 2024, only to separate just 2 days later. Days after that, divorce filings followed and then, in a twist, were withdrawn in early 2025. A 15-year relationship. A 48-hour marriage. Naturally, people started asking questions. Was it love or survival? With a history of financial struggles, health battles, and public pressure, some began to speculate that the relationship may have been more strategic than romantic. Tamar never said outright, but her words have often hinted at a deeper understanding. She knows what her sister endured. She knows the choices Toni had to make just to survive. Because in the end, Toni Braxton wasn't just an artist. She was a provider, the safety net, the one everyone depended on. And whether it was love or money, truth or perception, one thing remains clear. The weight always fell on her. So the question still lingers. Did Toni Braxton marry Birdman for love? Or was it always about survival?